Hello everyone, my name is Garrick Hedges. I'm the Director of Hong Kong UK Support. So welcome to the Hong Kong UK Support Location series. So in this series, we're showing the benefits of some different key areas around the UK and highlighting areas of interest that you might consider when you're deciding where to relocate to. And we're joined by a very special guest, the Right Honourable Ian Paisley Jr., who is the MP for North Antrim. I think actually something we haven't covered, I think most people will already know, but just about how the Northern Ireland sits within the UK, because obviously it's on the separate piece of land, but...
Yeah, Northern Ireland obviously came into existence in 1920, so we're on our 100th anniversary, and of course Hong Kong is on its 180th anniversary this year, I believe, as the modern Hong Kong that we know of today. So you're a little bit older than us, a little bit wiser, but Northern Ireland came into existence when the rest of Ireland decided to leave the UK under a Partition Act in 1920. We decided to stay, and I don't think we've regretted it. So we're part of the 4 provinces or 4 kingdoms that make up, or 3 kingdoms and 1 principality that makes up the United Kingdom. We have a devolved parliament. So local money is taken from Westminster and distributed across Scotland, England and Wales and Northern Ireland. And our local parliament then decides how to spend that money in terms of roads, education and healthcare and administration and policing. But most of it follows the British pattern. So when you come to Northern Ireland, as I say, the healthcare system is the same. We follow that. It's why would you try to reinvent the wheel? The social security pattern is followed. Why would you try to reinvent that wheel? Where you would see slight differences is in the delivery of education and differences in terms of the delivery of where we put our money in terms of local infrastructure. So that really is why we have a local parliament, to deliver those things. So local democracy is very strong here. There is the country has a very obvious political divide between unionism and nationalism, but by and large, most people want the same thing for their children: a good education, good prospects and the opportunity to have employment and a nice place to live. And the country generally provides that, whether people are divided into the nationalist community or the unionist community. And I say the Hong Kong community that is here has assimilated beautifully into that. So I meet Hong Kong people who live in the nationalist community and the ones who live in the unionist community, the exact same aspirations, and just get on and get doing. So I think they see it from, that the actual entire community has probably, when you get us in a room, we probably all are very, very alike, whether we're unionist or nationalist in terms of us families. But we maybe have different political objectives. So for example, I like the idea of being part of the United Kingdom. Nationalists like the idea of maybe one day leaving the UK. But I think the aspirations of making this place a successful place is what unites us. And that's, I think, a very positive thing. I've genuinely have no fear of Northern Ireland actually leaving the UK, because we're part of the 5th largest economy in the world. It would be hard to see how a country like Ireland could support Northern Ireland to the way it's become accustomed. And therefore, I think that people's mutual interest will be to stay unionist. Indeed, the most recent poll was that only 29% of people wanted to leave the UK. So it's a very powerful. I say unionist parties are less popular, but the actual concept of Northern Ireland being part of the UK is very popular. And it's a bit like, I suppose, some polls where you see the royal family and royalty and monarchy may not be popular, but the Queen is very popular. It's kind of that sort of.
People really love the Queen as well.
Oh well, she's really loved here, and I know that she'd be very happy to see Hong Kongers coming and settling in Northern Ireland. She told me that herself.
That's it. I like that. That's great. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you. I think what you're saying about having the devolved power, so you can invest into the infrastructure as you see it benefits the country most, is also why you'll see the internet and those the support for the startup companies is so strong,
Mm.
because the control to do that to benefit the country, which is
local devolution really does try and make the local economy more agile and more responsive to local needs. And I think Scotland feels probably something similar, and as does Wales with their local parliaments. Parliament in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And I obviously sit in the national parliament in the United Kingdom, which is a bit like a federated parliament. But there are times when it deals only with English legislation, and they of course have what's called the English legislation process, which means that my vote in that wouldn't really count. That's really just for the English members. Yeah. So the national parliament is the national parliament, but it also has a regional function to it, which is quite modern.
Yeah, I think it's actually really good for the Hong Kong people to start to understand these differences, to understand how the political system works here, because obviously it's very different to Hong Kong's political system. And some people find parts of it quite old-fashioned, but I think what's really important is that it works, and it does adapt and change as to how the UK needs it to. So I think it's something that we should also be proud of to have.
Oh, absolutely. And politics is never easy. There's always disputes in politics, but I think the human rights and the civil liberties aspect of living in the United Kingdom is very positive. You do have liberty, you do have free speech. You won't be hunted down and prosecuted secretly or openly by a police state. It's a very libertarian place, and I think that people do like that. And they feel we see it in whether it's our financial service sector, where it's liberated and it's free and it can't be interfered with by government. You see it in our policing system as well, and people's genuine acceptance that human rights are very, very important. And I think we're probably very lucky in that we have that and that we live in this country, but we probably take it very much for granted.
Yeah.
And probably too many times take it for granted. It's only whenever you see the problems that other countries face or the potential threat that they face that you actually realise. And when you think about it, we're very blessed to be here.
Yeah, we are blessed.